Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost.
What's going on, brother? How you doing today, man?
What's happening, Carlos? I'm doing fantastic. It's the start of the new year. We're rocking and
Yeah.
rolling.
Yeah, of course, man. So we want to pop in today to talk to everybody. I know that a lot of people, and I hear it back and forth. I mean, some of my mentors talk about, okay, you got to create goals. You gotta, you gotta have some New Year resolutions. But how do you do that? I mean, a lot of people do want to start the new year with new things. They want to do different things in life. They want to have a change for the better. But a lot
Yeah.
of people, I mean, we hear so many things out there. And how do we do it? What do you think someone can do and should do in order to start developing goals that develop and give results?
Yeah.
Um, because
So, I mean, Carlos, I think you really got to go back to the why, right? So,
yeah,
it's the New Year's. Everybody out there is signing up for a gym membership. They're wanting to change something about them, and they really need to understand. Not they. I mean, everybody really needs to understand what their
yeah,
goals should be used for, right? So, having set goals is a platform for you to go from point A to point B. Um, be it your personal life, your
yeah,
business life, just your overall health, right? So it's really important. And, Carlos, I see a lot of people, they're gung ho the first couple of weeks in January. And then what ends up happening is they completely forget about it. So,
uh-huh,
I believe the first step for somebody to set their goals is obviously come up with a game plan, but
yeah.
it starts with writing down your goals the first thing you do every day, right? So when you wake up, it's almost like daily affirmations. Would you agree?
That you got it. I mean, and that's right, because if you don't have something that reminds you what your goal and your end goal is, how can you know where you're going if you don't have a map? And then I think that's what goals are. And that's funny
Right.
enough that you talked about the gym. Today is what, Friday, right? The same people that I saw in the gym on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday were not there today. They either
I'm sure.
hurting, they either hurting or they quit already. And that's one of the things, that I will also learn, that when you have goals, when you write down your goals, like you said, that's the first thing that you should do in the morning. And don't get me wrong, before I never used to do that, but when I start doing that, you'd be surprised that that's the first thing that I do in the morning. I go to the gym, I start listening to something that is actually going to revitalize my mind, my
You got
life.
it.
So things to start coming together. Start thinking about, okay, my goal is this. This is what I want to accomplish. And you'd be surprised at things that I start thinking while I'm doing something else, or how we attract what we really want in life, and what's going to help us get there, and what we can identify, what our mind can identify, or the things or the people that can help you get there just because you have something in mind. It's like when, in the military, in order for you to complete a mission, you need to have what we call an APOR, or an operating order. And in order to do that, you need to create a plan. And as long as you have a plan, I mean, no plan is ever perfect, and we know that. But at least if you have a plan, you know where you're gonna end up. And as long as you have a plan, you may have to change things throughout the path, but you will end up where you want to go. You may end up a little to the left or to the right, but you end up forward, opposed to not having any plan and not even start where you wanted to do.
Right. Always taking steps forward.
Oh,
And a really good thing to understand here, too, is that it's not just for personal development, right? It's
cool.
also for your business. And when I'm talking about your business, yes, your financials, your overall growth of the business, but part of that are your employees, right? So it's really important to understand their goals as well. So,
Hmm.
what we're going to be going over today as far as goal setting, how to set
Yeah.
appropriate goals, what you should do. This also applies to your employees. So there's no
Correct.
way better to motivate an employee as a manager than to be interested in your employees' goals. Right? I remember, you know, some of my best sales reps that I worked with, they, I really got to know them. I got to know what their goals were. And in
Yeah.
fact, I was able to motivate them with their goals
That's awesome.
One person was they wanted to buy a home, right? They wanted to buy this really nice home. So I didn't
Yeah.
just find out that their goal, cool, check mark, you want to buy a home. It was, well, what does this home look like to you, right?
Hmm.
What color is it? What's all this? So what ended up happening is I got all this information from him, and I went and I found a picture of this home
Yeah.
that was everything that you described to me. Went ahead and
Nice.
printed it out, put it on his desk, and that motivated him to no extent, right? He'd
That's
walk in
awesome.
the morning, see it, and boom, ready to rock and roll. So,
Yeah.
what I'm saying here, another really great way to motivate your employees is through goal setting. So, we were
Yeah.
talking about, hey, listen, you should write your goals down first thing every day. It
Yeah.
doesn't stop there, right?
Hmm.
Write your goals down again before you go to sleep.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, something we got to keep in mind, if you don't have goals, you are going to go through your life making somebody else's goals a reality. So,
Absolutely.
so if you don't have something, I mean, and again, it's like I always like to take this analogy, like an azimuth check. When you shooting a compass, when you have a compass and you go in the woods and you want to go from point A to point B, you always gotta keep looking at your goals. And this is something, I mean, having written down, having something that I have had the remarkable, and the remarkable, I don't use paper, but I use this tablet, writing down every single day. So just for last year, I think it was almost like 3,000 and something pages that I wrote down my goals. And you know
Wow.
what? That allowed me to get further than what I was. At the end of the year, like we did this, over here in the company, we decided to start making goals, but I also went to what I've done for the past year, and I amazed myself. But it's not that I'm amazing myself, it's that I had a plan, and that's something to keep you accountable. So, and again, have somebody else. Your own list is going to keep you accountable, because your mind is going to push you to the levels that you didn't think you were able to. But also share your goals with others. Somebody that is, that you care about, somebody that you trust, somebody that is going to help you. And again, and that's another thing about goals. Have the people around you that are going to help you develop your goals. Not only make a list about your goals, but also develop a list of the people that can get you there.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. So, Carlos, you made a really good point there, right? So, your goals aren't just for you, they're also for those who are close to you.
Correct.
Another really great way to stay on
Hmm.
track with your goal setting throughout the year
Yeah, yeah.
is have monthly meetings with your family about goals, right? I really
Absolutely.
like having weekly meetings about
Hmm.
finances with my family,
That's
right?
awesome.
So what, and this is great. We can all make sure that we're still on the same page, doing what
Yeah.
our goals are for this year, continuing to move forward for those.
Yeah.
But when my child gets old enough to join in on these weekly meetings about finances, great thing about this is that over time, it's not going to be a taboo subject. Is
Yeah.
finances, is money, and I think that in a lot of households here in the United States, finances are kind of like a taboo conversation. I
It's,
know I kind of went off of goal setting, but finance goal setting is
it's one of those.
it's
Yeah.
goal setting too.
Yeah.
Um, but that enables financial literacy in your household as well. So those 30-minute meetings weekly about financing, and then monthly meetings with your family as far as general goal setting, I
Yeah.
think is a wonderful idea, not only for you to stay on track for your goals for the year, but also for your family.
Yeah, and you know what? And when you talk about finances, it's like we don't go off track. It's like every vehicle needs gas, or if it is an electric or vehicle, you need energy, you need electricity. Same
True.
thing. Everything that we do in life, people talk about the money is the root of all evil. No, not having money is the root of all evil. Because in order for you to keep yourself healthy, to go to the gym, to go to the doctor, to create a business, to feed your family, to be able to have a roof over your head, guess what you need? Money.
Hmm.
So finances are one of those things that is essential no matter what. So I think that should be the first thing as a family that you should start creating or putting together. And like you said, get together. And that's also some families in the United States do have the dynamic of a family, a nucleus. And if you like me, divorce, you also got to do that. And that's what I do with my kids. I talk to my kids about money. Actually, one of the little things that I learned from Dr. John Maxwell is that he did this with his son. And I started doing it. So what I do with my kids, if you guys read a book a month, and I want something that helps him to learn about money, helps him to learn about business, I will give you an allowance. So I'm paying you for you to actually learn on something. So that alone, but the funny thing is like so far, you see what the track that we have taken with this company. My kids, my daughter surprised me the other day. She has a, so I got her saved, and she's only 11. And she said she talked to me about her finances, the money that she's been saving to invest, and she had close to $1,500 in the
11
save.
years old, you're 15.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Awesome.
like, wait, hold on. And no, I don't put it in the bank because I'm not gonna make making any money. I just want to invest this money. I'm like, and you know that was the proudest moment, more than me making any type of money. The way that I see my kids are growing and learning, because you know this is something that I see that we didn't learn. I didn't learn it when I was young. As a matter of fact, like you said, like money's taboo in a lot of families. My
Mhm.
family, I mean, credit it was taboo. I mean, my mom used to tell me, don't get credit because it's going to, or don't get
Hand
credit
in
cards
hand.
because it's going to affect your credit, which is the total opposite. But you know what? In today's, in today's economy, I mean, especially with what we're going through, and goal setting and learning about finances is essential, because otherwise you are going to find yourself as a businessman, as a businesswoman, as a father, mother, as a family member. I mean, you're gonna find yourself in a deep, deep, deep hole if you don't learn these two things. If you don't actually start setting goals, keeping yourself accountable, but learning about money overall.
Mhm. Yeah, and when we're setting goals, I think it's really important to understand that you need to be granular, right? A,
Yeah.
a, a very broad goal would be something like, "Hey, I want to make more money this year," right? That's a great goal,
Yeah.
um, but it needs to be specific, right?
Hmm.
You need to get as granular as possible. And this is something I really like doing. Okay, cool. I want to make more money. How much more money do I want to make? Okay, so let's say I want to make, I don't know, 100,000 more dollars. Well,
Yeah.
what does that look like on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, on a
Yeah.
daily basis, and on an hourly basis, right? So I think getting granular with those goals allows you to see really what's required.
Hmm.
Because I think a lot of people get lost in the sauce, Carlos. I think they start making these really grand plans, grand goals, and then they're not able to achieve them because there was no
Yeah.
specific end to it, right? It
True.
wasn't like, okay, cool, I want to lose weight. Awesome. Did I achieve my goal? Well, I mean, I guess I lost half a pound. I did achieve my goal, right? So, and I think, you know, or they're not happy with the amount that they achieved, right? So I think it's really important. But also with that very specific goals, they need to be passionate, right? You need to be passionate about your goals, and they need to
Yeah.
be for you, not for somebody else, right? Well,
Yeah.
for your family,
Yeah.
right? But
That's true.
you need to find something that you're passionate about to
Yeah.
align with these goals. There's something that motivates you, right? So, as for the employees that I've had a pleasure of working with, it was, we
Yeah.
always would call it our why, right?
The,
So why are we waking up in the morning? Why are we showing up to
mhm.
work? Why are we doing what we do? And that answer will surprise you because it's not whatever your first thing that's going to come out of your mouth. It's not the
That's
second
true.
thing, right? It's something that you've got to take a real hard look about yourself.
Hmm.
And oftentimes that why emotion, that why goal, the real source
Yeah.
of being able to achieve your goals is something that's highly emotional to you. All right.
That's true. That's
So
true. That's true.
I encourage, when you're setting your goals, really think about it. Dive deep. Okay. Well, really, why am I doing this? Well, I want to make more money. Well, why do you want to make more money? Well, I want to be X, Y, and Z. Well, why do you want to be X, Y, and Z? Right. Try to cut open that onion, see those layers, and get down to that core. And that's going to allow you to set more reliable, sustainable goals that you are passionate
Now that you said onion, I just thought about the onion bloom from Outback. I think I'm
about.
just hungry.
That's good, right? I
So,
love those things.
yeah, they're good. They're good. So not so you say be passionate to it, and do something that you passionate about too.
Yeah.
You need to find your passion in life and create goals around that.
Mhm.
Because it's like kids. Kids only do what they find to be fun to them, right? Not everything is fun to every kid, and they only do what they want, but they do it with such a passion because that's what they love doing. And you see, we lose that as we grow. we start doing things that we really don't want in life, and sometimes the situation doesn't allow us to pursue what we really want. But if I remember the times that I did things that without, I didn't care if I was making any money, but I was just having so much fun, I was so great at it, is what I was passionate.
Hmm.
Well, and that's when you say identify the things that you're passionate about and go after them and break them down. It's like I remember, and again, some of us, by me saying this, I think I'm telling about my age. But remember when you used to print out the map quest?
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
And then you had to read it backwards to go home. Oh my.
so yeah, so that I love right there. So but you needed to backwards planning. You needed to know. I know that I need to be at a certain place at 8 o'clock tonight. I know this is gonna take me about an hour and a half. Let me see what time it is. I should be leaving out here by six and change. So again, same concept, same analogy. You need to do the same thing with people. I mean, you need to do the same thing with your business with people. Work. I mean, help them. Work with them because this is something that is going to allow not only help you in your business, help your family, but help the people that work for you. And if you actually incentivize and work with them, this is what's going to make your business successful, right?
Mm, I agree wholeheartedly.
Awesome,
Absolutely.
awesome, 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 awesome.
So I think another really big thing
Mhm.
to think about when we're setting our goals is to
Mhm.
really focus on the future, right? And don't focus on the past. It's what we call in sales rhino vision, right? All I can see is
Yeah.
forward. That's the only direction I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Because when you're thinking about your goals, you may go, well, I made that goal last year, right? And I wasn't able to achieve it. So let me do this. Let me go for half of my goal because I didn't
Yeah.
make it last year. Or, well, we've only done whatever happened in the past, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want to apply that towards our future goals. Okay, we want to be optimistic. We want to see a great future, and we want to obviously talk about it on a daily basis too. But
Of course.
really, I
Yeah.
think that's an important thing to have, right? Focus on the future, not on the past.
I mean, the best driver on the road is who? The one that looking forward, not backwards, right?
Right.
And that's the thing. That's a great analogy. And you know what? And I think once we actually develop goals, one of the main things is we need to start looking into is self development. Because as we learn about ourselves, we identify things that we really need to work on, which makes us a better leader, better person, father, mother, son. You are able to lead better upward, across, and down. And this is things that sometimes, and when I said the analogy about driving forward and not backwards, this came to mind. We all have blind spots, and it's great because the same analogy goes when you're driving. So we have blind spots, right? But if you have an A driver, and that's when we talked about have somebody keep you accountable. An A driver, there's somebody that's helping you, that's telling you, okay, look, man, there's a car coming, there's a truck, let's not get into an accident. Same thing is like, man, or woman, or Carlos in this case, and I love because you do it with me. This is not right. And you gotta be, as a leader, especially we talking about business now, you need to be humble to know when you're wrong and you're right, because a lot of the times we learn more from the situation and the encounters when we are wrong, and allow us to become a better leader. Because
I agree.
people see, you're in a business when you actually a leader of a company. People see when you are wrong, and then identify. A lot of times they may not say it to you, and I'll give you a good example. um, I have a friend of mine that we always talk about, their company who she works for, and the way that she talks about her boss, it's like sometimes I want to say, why are you still working that company? But they identify, and he walks around like people don't see what's going on. People are very receptive, especially when you're an employee and they're able to see. Sometimes they don't say anything, but that alone right there make you an ineffective leader, and doesn't allow you to grow and have your people to grow. Because sometimes people see that, and they just reserve themselves from even growing within the company or adding more to the company, or become resentful about their position or even their leader, and they don't put the best foot forward to make the company grow. And I've seen it from the military to the civilian world. And I think, in 2023 goal setting, I think that a lot of people should take that in consideration. Look inside before anything else. Look how you can develop yourself before, because I mean, even one of them, big mentors, Grant Cardone, says, if you want to invest into anything first, invest in yourself, right?
Mhm.
You should be the first investment that you want to put out there. And if you want to actually develop goals this year, the first goal right there, I think, and you know what, we're gonna give them a free gift today, right? What do you think?
Oh yeah, yeah. Stay to
Okay.
the end.
All right, so stay to the end. We're gonna give you a free gift. If you want to actually, the first goal of anything that you do, it should be yourself. Put yourself first. Pay yourself first. Business, everything, right? You should be the first one to pay yourself, and then the goals you should be putting your priority. Develop yourself first. Become that better person, mom, dad, leader, whoever you want to be, and you want to be in this year, and you'll see that everything else will fall in place, right?
Absolutely. And you kind of went down a rabbit hole about self-development.
Yeah,
And a little, it's a rabbit hole, but a
it's
little
a rabbit
something
hole.
here that that I kind of want to share about that. It's Johari's window. Have you ever heard about Johari window,
No,
Carlos?
no, I have not. You know what? That sounds, and I think we talked about this in the past, but you gotta forgive me. And you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I
So
think
so
I think I
basically it's a format to view
yeah.
yourself better, to
Uh-huh.
understand how others view you. So there's four different segments to Johari's window, right? It's the
Wow.
shared one is the shared segment where this is something that I know about myself and also Carlos knows about it, right? But there's a really big blind spot for a lot of people, right? And this would be something for me, for my Johari window. This would be blind to me, but aware Carlos would be
Yeah.
would know all about it, right? So it's really important to have that effective communication with those that are close to you, whether that's your family or that's your employees.
That's true.
They can tell you, if you have effective communication, they can tell you what they see that you don't see yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. And then, I don't want to get too much into detail about your Hari window, but it's a great thing to use. You guys can go ahead and Google it. But there's also this big unknown segment, right? This is something
Yeah.
that's not known to you and not known to anybody else. And really, the only way that you can find this is continue your self development and continue effective communication with others, to see how others view you, so you can in turn make yourself better, in whatever environment it is that you're looking for, whether that's family or work. Yeah. Little something I wanted to throw out there to a Johari window. I love it.
Yeah.
Really
That's
cool
awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
No,
Check
I
it out.
like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. And actually kind of boggles my mind about the Pareto syndrome, Pareto system, meaning that 80 to 20%, the 20% of your actions or everything that you do gives you the 80% of your results, and that other 80% gives you only the 20%. So
Mm,
this is when you got to now start identifying what you're doing. So personally, that's one thing that you got to do personally first. What 20% of my actions is giving me the vast majority of my results in my self-development, and in my goals for this year, and what the 80% is that is giving me the 20%, then put it to the end. Once you do that, then now go into your business. First of all, in operations, which 20% is giving you that 80% of the results and revenue, and now which 80% of everything that you do is only give you the 20% to put it towards the end. And then go into your employees. Which 20% of the employees are the one that bring in 80% of the revenue? And then which 80% is only bringing the 20% of the revenues? Because you should concentrate on that 20%. Those are the people that needs to be developed. Those are the people that need to be worked with. Those are the
mm,
people that need to be given you need to be give your attention to, because those are the people that are in exchange are going to develop the rest.
mhm.
'Cause at the end of the day, as a business owner, the goal is for you to exit, meaning you need to either leave the company, sell the company, however it is, but developing people. This is something that I always learn. A lot of people don't want to, when they're in the leadership position. Remember, a position doesn't make a leader. The position is only gives you a platform to become a leader. A lot of
Okay.
people don't want to develop others because they are afraid they could be replaced.
Well, I
Goal.
agree. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah,
Big thing is people are afraid to share their knowledge to help
yeah.
you because they feel like if they help you, then that somehow takes away from their potential success or potential future, right?
I
So,
mean, I
you
don't
know,
see, I mean, I don't see that. Like, if you help others, don't you know that you're gonna be able to create more time for yourself?
mhm,
Like, if you know, this is something as a leader in a company, you need to be able to delegate the authority. You never delegate the responsibility. Yeah, you're responsible for anything that happens and doesn't happen, but you can delegate the authority to those people. When you actually have to delegate that authority to people that work with you, you'd be you'd be surprised how people buying into the mission and the vision. So now we're gonna go into another rabbit hole: vision and
yeah, I
mission.
mean, we just dive deep, but yeah, to kind of bring that all together,
Yeah.
if you can get them aligned with your mission and vision, you're going to get them
Mhm.
aligned with your goals as your company, right? If I'm talking to any business owners out there, if
Yeah.
you can get your employees all on board with your business's goals, then you're gonna be a rocket ship. But really, the only way to do that is, in my opinion, is to care about your employees' goals, right? Have those conversations, and if you can, you know, have them on a weekly basis with your employees as well. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think there's something that very important that you said there was, focus on the 20% that are bringing in 80% of revenue when we're talking about employees. Yeah. You want to spend most of your time with the
Yeah.
people who are doing the right things and the least of your time with those who are not. Right. Because we want to make sure that we invest with those people who are doing really well because they can do even better.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that we can replicate them as well, right? That 20%, if your entire office or entire workforce was made up of that 20% that got you 80% of the revenue, that would be
Amazing.
massive for you. That
Yeah.
should be your goal. I'm just throwing that in there because I see this as a common mistake from a lot of business owners is they focus on the individuals that need the oil, right? The squeaky wheel
Yeah.
gets the
Yeah.
oil. And I feel like the majority of a business owner's time or a manager or a trainer or should be spent with the people who are going to be with the business the longest, right? Who are doing
Yeah.
all the right things as opposed to those individuals who just can't seem to get it, right? We all
Correct.
know that. If you've hired and trained employees, somebody
Yeah.
who's going to be with you and somebody who's probably going to fall off.
True.
And those people who are going to be with you, they're typically, they're all on board from the get go. You're having effective communication, talking about goals, and they're quick, typically some quick learners out there as well. So, you know,
True.
make sure that you're using your time effectively as a manager, as a trainer, as an owner, whatever the case may
That's
be.
true.
Cool. That's all I'm going to get into that rabbit hole because we could talk about business development for an extremely long time.
Yeah, but
Maybe not.
I love it because another thing that we need to keep in mind when we do these trainings, when we do this, this should be part of your goals this year. If you're a business owner, you need to be able to start training people. But like you said, like you need to care about your people, but nobody cares what you know until they know that you care for them. Another thing is that in order for you to train someone, you need to be trained. So you need to learn too
Mhm.
the habit. You need to learn the systems. You need to learn whatever you're teaching. Because how can you teach someone what you don't know? So that's another thing. You need to spend time on yourself. And trust me, sometimes it's tedious. Sometimes I understand. Sometimes as they say you get up there, you don't want to do anything. But by visiting your goals, and if your person or whoever is your spouse, your friend, your coworker, whoever is keeping you accountable is not around, trust me, those goals are going to remind you that you are fucking up or you are in the right place.
Right.
So because my goal sometimes remind me, okay, this is what you should be doing. And I feel like shit. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I didn't give my best today. So even last night, I read and I usually do it and read in my nighttime. And I was gonna go to sleep around 11:30. After I read them, I'm like, oh hell no. I need to finish about 4 new videos. So I went to sleep around 1:30 because it kind of gave me the guilt trip. I said I can go to sleep without, without finishing what I was supposed to finish for the day. So, and again, that's just me. You don't have to be this extreme, but I'm very hard on myself because I know the value that I could bring to people. But I know that each one of us have a calling in this life, in the world, in whatever you do in life, whatever business you are in. You, as a family man, as a family woman, whatever you do, there's things that you are called for and you here in this earth to do. And writing down your goals, identifying what your passion is, developing yourself as a person will help you become a better person. And the goal for all of this is to bring value to others, right? To develop other people. If we could, as a company, we could actually help one person a day, I think we're doing our job. And we don't want to stop there. We want to continue more and more and more. And it's a dream. It's a dream. It's a dream. But a dream without a plan, no, a goal without a plan is just a dream, right?
I think it's delusion. I think a goal, it's a hallucination. I can't remember who said that. That's a good quote, right?
So a goal without a plan is yours. You're hallucinating. No,
Yep.
another one too that I remember, and I love this one. If you're a leader and like, this one thing. So when you talk about leadership, I go in circles. So pull me back. So when you're a leader, and that's the thing, like when you're actually teaching others, and people will call you out. And this is the thing, people will call you out, and sometimes you believe that you're a leader and nobody's following you. So if you're out for a walk and nobody's following you, you're just trolling yourself. You are delusional, and that's the definition of being delusional. So
Love it.
love it.
All right, I'm gonna reel you back in. Cool. Hey, it's Friday. We got work to do. So let's go ahead and let them know, hey, what we've made for you guys.
All right, guys. So we actually prepared a goal setting, so a business goal setting tracking sheet that we put together. We want to help you with. This is free. We want to give it to you guys. If you're interested, in the bottom of this video, we're gonna put a link in which you can grab this sheet for yourself, use it as a guide.
Write down your goals daily.
Yeah, follow it. But at least you have the meat and potatoes on what you should do, but don't stop there. The goal is for you guys to be able to identify what you want, but break it down. Remember what we said? Break down the goals backwards plan. Yeah, here we go. Granular. Make sure that if at the end of the year you want to be somewhere, you want to buy a home. So what do you need to do? You need to work on your credit. You need to save the money. You need to be able to start looking for a house. You're not gonna get a house if you don't have to. If you don't look for a realtor, you don't look for the place that you want to live in. At the same time, make sure that your partner is also in cahoots with you to get a new house, right? Because you know what?
Have those conversations, effective communication.
Because that is delusional if you're trying to do something and she or he is not in the same boat, right?
Nope. That's a recipe for the doghouse.
Oh yeah. So no, but guys, so free of charge, we want to go ahead and give you a little gifts to begin the year. We want to go ahead and help you out, and anything we can do. We're not selling anything here today. We just want to talk about goals. I love talking about leadership, self-development. That's something that I'm very passionate about.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and give you a free gift. So guys,
and I'm hoping that next year we're going to have this conversation and we're going to have somebody on our podcast here say, oh man, I downloaded your gift, your goal tracking sheet, and it's 2024, and I did great because of it. I'd love to have that conversation. So if we impact just one person out there and they take action and decide, cool, hey, this year is the year that I'm going to achieve all my goals, then awesome.
All right, bro. All right, man. Thank you for actually here. Let's get back to work. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. I know a lot of you, but don't forget, get your free gift. See you soon.
All right.
Bye.
I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. I tell you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement?